Hello, Australia. My colleague Kiernan Fiore and I will be leading an online session discussing the Australian standards and how to teach them classically. In our research, we have discovered a few important things that we plan to cover. The Australian standards use lovely language, words and phrases such as create a sense of wonder, collaboration, maintain a deep connection to, and responsibility for country, and have holistic values. They continue on and on with language about keeping traditions, making observations, and using all the senses. These standards are beautiful. There is a continuity and a philosophy that seems to take into consideration a good understanding about the nature of good teaching. The people who painstakingly wrote these standards reveal a deep care for the human race and the well-being of their fellow man. They regard children as keepers of the good and beautiful traditions of Australia, and they seem to desire interconnected learning for studying the humanities, and even the realization that ancient languages ought to be studied in order to pursue citizenship, literature, the arts, and architecture, with an aim to see how beautiful these ideas are and how the ancient cultures and language can help students connect to their modern world. This is all good and very in line with classical education. The writers of these standards for ancient languages even declare that students should, quote, read aloud or recite classical Greek texts, such as stories, dialogues, poems, or speeches, or perform texts in classical Greek, such as short plays to entertain an audience, convey meaning effectively by using appropriate phrasing and voice inflection. Their standards for English require the beautiful pedagogy of the oral tradition, reading aloud and reciting, and they encourage students to learn the art of rhetoric. They reiterate the importance of students being able to tell back, and telling back or narrating is at the very heart of classical and trivium-based teaching. They use terminology that shows not only that they care about what students learn, but about how they learn it. In one section about the nature of a learner, they discuss the idea that they want students to progress from synthetic reading of materials to analytical encounters. This is poetic learning. To start with a big picture and to allow a student to discover and awaken wonder will lead forth the learner towards a desire to engage with the text analytically. This is very classical. The breakdown and the discouraging reality sets in when you take a close dive into the various Australian curriculum. The publishers that are aligning themselves to these standards have missed the beauty. They have objectified the standards, and by doing so, they have completely hacked out the beauty. The writers of the curriculum seem to have no understanding of the nature of a child. They have no regard for what the standard means when the humanities and social sciences declare that their aim is, quote, to ensure that students develop a sense of wonder, curiosity, and respect about places, people, cultures, and systems throughout the world, past and present, and an interest in the enjoyment of the study of these phenomena, unquote. A typical humanities lesson that completely objectifies the standards and misses the point that the student ought to, quote, develop a sense of wonder and curiosity and interest and enjoyment is very disheartening, to say the least. We will be taking a close look at how the Australian standards are beautifully aligned to the classical tradition of education and how their curriculum writers have essentially beheaded their own standards. We aim to turn these publishers on their heads and help Australian educators stand up and reclaim the beautiful vision for helping students engage with the world. We aim to help educators see that not only is this possible, but to properly respect the Australian standards, they need to know how to write a lesson that truly aligns to the truths and the goodness that has been carefully written into the standards. If you cannot attend our session tomorrow, I'm going to record this. There is a small fee to attend the mini conference. I will be charging a small fee to access the recording, but all proceeds will be directly donated to the Australian Classical Education Society. We support the good work that ACES is doing to help support teachers in Australia, and to help them expand the great conversation about education reform. We are so excited to help you guys. This is very fun, and we hope that you are encouraged and that this is life-giving to you and gives you a vision for how you can actually see the beauty in the standards and write beautiful lessons that are more in line with the standards than the curriculum that's available to you now. Thank you.